How are we doing, everybody? It is your boy, Lightning McMurphy. We're back here. Today we have a very interesting, special, crazy, new, improved kind of idea for a video. This is sort of like a tier list, but this is the tier list of all tier lists. We're going to talk about the greatest Pokemon to ever exist in Pokemon Unite, right? We're going to be talking about the GOAT. The literal GOAT of Unite. And how this is going to work is, I separate it into tiers already, as you can see here. We got, was never the best Pokemon. Was maybe the best Pokemon. The best Pokemon, bester Pokemon, and then the best of the bestest Pokemon. So we're going to pretty much talk about, this is viewing each Pokemon at their absolute peak, okay? So, like, when I look at it and I say, was never the best Pokemon, Crustle, at any point in his entire career, was never even close, right? We could all agree on that. That's easy. That shouldn't be hard. There shouldn't be no arguments there. Crustle was never near the best Pokemon ever. Not even close. So, that should set the tone. Let's continue, though, because this is where... like, now we're going to start going through things. Venusaur. Best. I remember Venusaur way back when with the Petal Dance buff. And it was just, honestly, unstoppable. And I don't think it's better than the best. I think it's not best or best as bestest. So. Gengar, as of right now, he's going in best of the bestest. If you did not play Season 1, like original Day 1 Switch Pokemon Unite before the Gengar nerf, you don't know hell. You don't know pain. That was a menace. That was just... craziness. Mr. Mime. As of right now, Mr. Mime is... one of the craziest things to ever hit Unite. And I don't want to even oversell when I say that, because I feel like you guys are thinking I am, because if you're playing Unite now. But before this recent patch came out, when they nerfed him, He's still the best Pokemon in Unite, and they nerfed him. He was getting the most damage on the team, the most healing on the team, and the most damage taken. He was literally everything. And now Gengar was never doing that. He was never taking the most damage, and really not healing the most damage. He was just dealing more damage than anybody could do. Mr. Mime is everything one could ever hope for. So he may even have been here. It's close. I'm going to put him at number 1 right now, because it was insane. He was like, it was just crazy. Snorlax, never the best Pokemon. Gardevoir was never the best Pokemon. It was I think there was, very small time when Absol was the best Pokemon. It was like when people found out, not people found out, but he got buffed, and then you could use his ult on objectives, and you could just destroy them. Yeah, that was annoying. Garchomp, no. Garchomp was never the best. Lucario. Lucario had a really long run as the best Pokemon, and then other Pokemon would pass him and then get nerfed, and then he would still be there. So I think he deserves to be in bester at the very least. I mean, at the very beginning of the game, he was insane, and they nerfed him about, I think it was literally 8 times. They had to nerf him. It could be less, but I think it was 8 times. And he's finally in a decent spot now. I don't think he's too broken or overtuned. I think he's fine. But right now, that's where he's going to go. Greninja, we're going to put in was maybe the best. Early in the life, maybe right after Gengar died. Greninja, Cinderace were taking over. Zororo was still a thing. This is pre, like, Greed and Sylveon also, so. Talonflame. Talonflame was the only speedster for a very long time and was also considered one of the best Pokemon in the game, if not the best. I'm not going to put it anywhere above best. I think right there is fine. Charizard was never anywhere near it. Zororo was maybe the best Pokemon, as was Cinderace. We'll put them both here. For the healing, there was a time, believe it or not, when this Mon was definitely very usable and considered one of the best. Cram was maybe the best. There was a time when Blastoise, when he first came out, his ultimate legit needed like a 60% damage nerf, y'all. It was crazy. I'm going to switch you over here, though. Pikachu, never the best Pokemon in the game, right? We could all get behind that. Pikachu, no. Let's not lie to ourselves. You're coming soon, my king, my prince. Ninetales, no. Wiggly, yes. Was the best support, was like super broken for a very long time. Like, look, it's even like, it's painted green as if it's a tank, even though it's not. It's supposed to be a support. But at the beginning of the game, it was the sleep, the damage, the tank, it was a nightmare. Slowbro, maybe. Machamp, never the best. Blissey. There was a point where, like, the healing was just absurd. Mammoth was nowhere. Sylveon. So, Mr. Mime and Blissey, why they've had themselves up here is just because they like are super crazy good healing supports, right? And like there's no like items where you can manage to do like some support work yourself or anything in this game. There's no like gold you're gonna spend to like manage the support work yourself. Outside of having a potion, you're not gonna be having much healing. So that's why these two, when they were really good, or as of right now, Mr. Mime still is, they're so broken because there's no other healing. Whereas damage, you're always gonna find damage. But with Sylveon and Gengar, but right now we're focusing on Sylveon, the damage was so crazy. It was unrealistic. It was like they didn't even test it before it came out. I remember it's actually what catapulted me into wanting to like make more Pokemon Unite videos, is because I made a EXE video on Sylveon, and I was like, this is crazy. I could make a clip. Like I played one game, I got like 10 clips. It's so broken. So yeah, Sylveon was definitely crazy. And right up there with Sylveon and Gengar, it was Greedent. These 5 are probably the best. I don't know if this is probably right now not ordered. I'm not going to order it just because it's so hard to outweigh which verse is more important in the best of the bestest. But Greedent was crazy on release, dude. Just running around unkillable, like literally unkillable, uncatchable, just so much damage. It was just stupid. The Decidueye, there was like the briefest of moments when he was the best attacker, but that's just because attackers weren't good. So I'm going to still not put him as ever the best. Dragonite was good. Dragonite was the best on release. Dragonite, Hyper Beam, and Outrage were both very good. Serena was definitely also the best. I'm going to put him also below Lucario. I think Lucario definitely owns this tiers right now. Trevenant, actually, until maybe right before the new map, I would say Trevenant was the best defender. And I don't know if it was like best of the best. So we'll put it in was maybe the best. But it was really good and a really solid defender. And I mean, when I say really good, I mean it was like noteworthy enough to like, it shouldn't be like that. Like, it was so crazy. He really didn't die. It's just that you're playing with people who don't know how to play with the support. You know what I mean? Or like a peel. Like, if you're peeling for your team and they're not actually going to do anything, it doesn't matter. So, Aegislash was never the best to my knowledge. Not that I remember. Hoopa. Hoopa's good because, you know, the teleports. Hoopa's like essentially good in the sort of same similarity to these two, but a little bit different in the aspect that it's kind of just a game-breaking feature that nobody else could do, where they could heal where most people can't heal. Hoopa could literally just teleport your entire team across the map and heal, or just jump at the objective. So Hoopa's still really, really strong. I shouldn't say like in the meta. I'm talking about like overall of the bestest of the bestest. I would definitely put it the bestest of the bestest because that's just a broken way to have a Pokemon. Duraludon, I would put it in bester. It was definitely the best Pokemon at some point in the game's lifespan, right? It was really good. Dragon Pulse was insane, but it was literally like a week. Sylveon, I feel, was not much longer. It was longer. It might not have been. It felt longer. Gengar was definitely longer. Greedent felt longer. All these Pokemon above him felt longer. Duraludon might have been just as broken, but it was so short it felt like. It really felt like we didn't even get a chance to experiment with it. Azumarill was never the best. Whoops. Espeon was never the best. Delphox was, like, maybe the best. I'd put it here. Glaceon is the best right now and was the best a patch ago. Similar to Duraludon, the last thing got nerfed, and they buffed the other part about Glaceon, though. So Glaceon's still pretty broken, still the best Pokemon in the game. Buzzwole was never the best. T-Tar, similar. I'm going to put him at the bottom, though. He didn't have a long time. Dragonite and Serena still might have even been more broken, but T-Tar was broken. Let's be real with ourselves. Mew, as of right now, definitely one of the best Pokemon in the game, if not the best Pokemon. I don't think it's good enough to be in the bester category yet. And then we have Dodrio, definitely not the best Pokemon. So, as you can see here, I would say everything is ordered outside of the very top. It's really hard to try and order and figure out, like, how much damage is valued for Sylveon versus for Gengar versus for Greedent versus the healing these two will provide versus just the sheer broken mechanics that Hoopa has. I do think that it's pretty sad a lot of my favorites are down here and that was never the best Pokemon tier or was maybe the best Pokemon tier. But, you know, it's cool. They'll get there eventually. If you guys disagree, you should let me know down below what you think I messed up on and where you guys would put stuff. And leave a like, leave a comment, a subscription. Yeah. Peace. Catch you on the flip side.